Hey, how's it going? Bandy, Wolfdyne here. Baldur's Gate 3 has been announced. Woo! And we are here to talk about it. I plan on taking a look into all things news for Baldur's Gate 3 periodically to just break down all the information we get about this upcoming game. Thanks for joining me today. Let's get right into it. So the license for BG3 has been picked up by Larian Studios, a well-known studio of titles such as Divinity Original Sin and its sequel. If you haven't at least taken a look at Larian's game library, I highly recommend you do yourself a favor and check them out. Even going back to their early games with Divine Divinity and its sequel, sort of, Beyond Divinity, I highly recommend those two to any fans of the original Baldur's Gate, or any classic computer role-playing game for that matter. And even looking at the more recent games, Divinity Original Sin and its sequel, it'll give you an idea of what kind of polish that Larian will bring to Baldur's Gate 3. Many fans of Baldur's Gate games have been crying for this game to be made, but nobody ever really thought about what it would take, who would be the one to do it, or honestly faced up to the fact that there was more of a chance that it would be grabbed by a sleazy developer, pumped out for shovelware for its easy money potential, rather than picked up by a good one that had intentions of making a great Baldur's Gate 3. Honestly, can any fan say that they're not going to buy it, even if they can say, yeah, I knew it was going to be a spit in the face to my favorite computer role-playing game? But if you've actually taken a look at Larian or played their games, I can't think of a better developer to grab hold of the reins on this one. I would describe them as a fairly quiet studio, at least compared to some of the bigger ones and ones with loudmouth CEOs. And I hadn't even really considered them as someone who could handle the job. They just sat in the corner over there and made their little Divinity games. Albeit some really good ones, with tons of complex mechanics and new ideas in them, they definitely could handle it. Now, if you haven't been paying attention lately, Larian recently released the news that they were working on Baldur's Gate 3, along with the teaser trailer. You can check it out yourself if you haven't. I'll put the link in the description. And you can also check out my reaction and breakdown videos on it as well. To summarize it, it just shows a seaside city becoming the victim of an invasion force of mind flayers, or illithids, as well as a more individualized invasion of this man's body by the same creatures. Nothing yet regarding information on the game on their website, but be sure to sign up for the Larian Gazette, Larian's update and development newsletter, and maybe take a look at the teaser trailer. It's a nice bit of high quality animation, and it definitely sets the mood to start this journey. Be sure to come back to Larian's website in the future for information and plans Larian has for BG3 though. Now, the most important bit of information that we can discuss this week is that Larian uploaded a community update video as well this weekend. It's a somewhat silly, somewhat serious video detailing how they received the license to create Baldur's Gate 3 and what we can expect from them. Of note are the general beats. They plan to make it a grand adventure. They plan to delve into D&D lore. They plan to give us real player choices. And they really want to smash it home to give us Baldur's Gate fans something that we have been looking forward to for years. Overall, this update is just a fun bit of entertainment to tide us over until Larian starts delving into the real meat and potatoes of what their plans are. As stated in the video, they plan to release frequent community updates to let us know what's going on with the game, show us information about art, game systems, characters, and get our feedback on what we think of that. They plan to develop this game with us. But some more information can be gleaned from the video. I mean, it gives us a bit of introduction about what kind of studio Larian is and how they plan to handle Baldur's Gate. The joy and passion from this company shines through in this first update, and if anything, Baldur's Gate 3 will be in the best hands that it can be. Also, Wizards of the Coast seems to believe that they've picked the best choice that they could as well. How good everyone feels about this pairing from the companies has got me at ease with the future of the franchise. And I noticed Sven's comment about the posters and speculate if these are those posters. These could easily be player portraits or NPC portraits. You can see a Dragonborn over here and two other maybe humans or elves here and here. However, the large poster that staff are hanging up in the background does pull my interest a lot more, because Sven mentions having to take posters down when people come into the office, as they're hanging this poster back up. And it looks like it has a lot of detailed information on it. I just can't make it out because it's so far in the background. It could be factions, characters, classes, any NPCs in the game. And it looks like some kind of coast, but it doesn't match up to what I expected the play area for the game would be. I mean, look at this map of Faerun. Unless... Is this the new map for Baldur's Gate 3? Sven Vinke of Larian Studios and Mike Merles of Wizards of the Coast took the stage at E3 to provide information about Baldur's Gate 3 and the development process. Sven Vinke had tried to convince the Wizards back in 2014 to give them the Baldur's Gate license, but wasn't successful at the time. I'm sure they weren't the first to try to obtain the license. So Larian continued on with Divinity Original Sin and Divinity Original Sin 2, and then in 2016 was approached by Wizards of the Coast again to discuss the idea. They've been in talks since then regarding the game and obtaining the license, and are finally able to announce that they have it. Sven confirms going back to the city of Baldur's Gate. There will be mind flayers, and Ceramorphosis is a concept they wish to include in the game. He states the process we see in the trailer is an accelerated process, and it's not normal. They also discuss the difficulties translating 5th edition D&D to PC gaming, and that it may not be an exact one-for-one translation. Mike Merles also announced that the upcoming D&D game module Baldur's Gate Descent into Avernus will be a prequel to Baldur's Gate 3. A prequel to Baldur's Gate 3, but set 100 years prior and dealing with demons and devils in the first layer of hell instead of mind flayers. So what's the connection there? I don't have any ideas at this time, but we'll just have to keep posted for updates on Larian's website and check out the module when it releases on September 17th of this year. Next, if you Google Baldur's Gate 3, you'll find a whole slew of articles by big-name gaming news publications such as PC Gamer, GameSpot, IGN, Kotaku, etc., etc., etc. And I won't go over them individually, as most of them I feel are kind of long-winded and mostly the general introductory stuff. But do take a look at them if you like to read interviews. There's some with Sven and the guys over at Larian. I think there's a few with Mike Merles over at Wizards of the Coast. I do want to call attention to this Polygon article that mentions that Baldur's Gate 3 is announced as part of the Google Stadia launch window of November 2019. I took a look at it in my reaction video, and it blew me away. Never would have thought this was what I would get this summer. But in hindsight, that date would be almost impossible if you see where Larian is at in their development cycle. I personally am fine with anything as far as the launch date. If it takes Larian 4 years, if they think they need 4 years, give them 4 years. This game needs to be done right.
Well, I have to ask Sven, it's a question on a lot of people's minds. What can you talk to us about expected release time frames?
So people have been waiting for it for a long time.
Yeah.
They're going to have to wait a little bit more when it's ready. This is the game that we want to play, so we want to make sure it's really, really good. And then when that's the case, then we'll release it.
Next to last, I did want to mention that the console version of all those old computer role-playing games got a release date for them. Classics such as Baldur's Gate, Icewind Dale, and Neverwinter Nights are all coming to PS4, Xbox One, and Switch this year. Developer Beamdog, that's in charge of this, is bringing these games to consoles with updates for things such as high-resolution displays, UI and bug fixes, balance changes, new content, optimized controls for controllers. I'm especially interested in what they can do with the controls for these games, because in my experience, computer role-playing games don't really translate the best onto console. And finally, if you want to wet your whistle for Baldur's Gate videos, I would have to recommend Noah Caldwell-Gervais's YouTube channel. He has an excellent video regarding a thorough look at the entirety of the Baldur's Gate series, as well as some other classic games, and more recent ones such as Mass Effect and Fallout. They're long videos, but they're definitely worth the watch. And that's all the news I have for you today, but I do want to hear your opinions. Are you happy with developer Larian? Did you like some of their old stuff, Divine Divinity? Did you like some of their new stuff, Divinity Original Sin? When do you think Baldur's Gate 3 will be released? Let me know any thoughts you have. I really want to spark some conversation in the comments below. Thanks for watching, guys. Bye.
Butt kicking for goodness!